Welcome back. In this video I finish off the front brake, do a bit of work on the engine and also finish off the front section of the frame. So I just start with this front caliper. I did debate about keeping the original pit bike caliper, but I thought this one looked a bit better, which is the standard one for the disc. Just made a little bracket there to mount between the caliper and the fork, and just tapping a couple of holes, and it was quite a tight fit, but it turned out really good. So that's the front wheel and brake done. And I'll just start stripping down the rest of the pit bike. So that plastic body comes off pretty easy. I took the rear wheel off, all the componentry, including the engine, so I could get to a point where I could start cutting down the frame. So what I want to do is just keep the front section of the frame, and then I'll make a custom rear end. So just here I'll start it up. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with the muffler at this stage, but here I'm just cutting the rear end of the frame off, and all I really wanted to keep, as I said, was the main front tube and the original engine mount, because I do want to mount it like this. There's obviously a few different designs out there, but I want to keep it looking like a bike, and as I said in the first video, like a bit of a chopper or cafe racer style. So I took the engine out, cleaned up the remaining bit of the frame. That's really all I want to keep, and that came up alright. The only thing was it was at the wrong angle, so I just got my big heating tip out here. That tube is actually not a tube, it's a pipe. It's quite thick, which was pretty surprising, so I heated it up red hot, as you can see here. I needed to bend it probably about 15 degrees or so, and messed around with it a bit, and I got it right where I want it. So I've welded on an extra bit of tube here just for some leverage, because it is so thick. So anyway, that was all good. Once I got this far, I started stripping down the engine. Now this engine's quite good, starts easy, runs well, doesn't blow any smoke, so I don't want to pull it apart other than just taking the easy bits off and giving it a good clean and then spray painting it. So I just took off what I could, cleaned it down, and I've decided to keep this black, so I'm going to paint it satin black. And just on the Orion cover here is aluminium. So I just got my buffing wheel, bit of sanding, bit of buffing. You can see it doesn't take too long. It's probably, I don't know, 15 minutes work, bit of polish in the ends, and you can see here come up awesome. And that'll just give a bit of, it's going to be pretty dark, but the odd bit of polishing I think will look pretty good. So just cleaning off all the dirt, I gave it a light sand, and then using satin black. So I don't really like gloss black, I don't like matte black, but just this satin finish turns out pretty good. And there's that cover, looking awesome. So at this point it's bolted into the frame. I start on the wiring and just figuring out where things are going to fit. So I had to reposition the coil and the CDI unit and other things, so just messing about with that a bit at this point. This is just welding a nut on so I could bolt the CDI unit directly to it, and then after this I'll start working on the rear of the frame. I do have a car axle and wheels, and I just got to work out the seat and the length and all that sort of stuff. So far we're progressing pretty well. Stay tuned, and in the next video I hope to have this rear end done, so stay tuned.